Well, the Americans have not hidden the reasons for those bases. They have made it very clear is to protect American interests in Africa. What are the American interests in Africa? The American interest in Africa is not to protect the African people. That's not an American interest. One discernible American interest in Africa is minerals, to protect their access to strategic minerals. Today, DRC holds about 70% of the world's cobalt deposits. Zambia, which is a neighbor to DRC, also has got huge deposits. Niger holds 70% of the world's uranium deposits. DRC has uranium, Zambia has uranium, Namibia has uranium. These are strategic minerals. These are what the Americans are protecting. Protecting from who? From us, the Africans, the owners of these minerals? Certainly not. They are trying to protect, to monopolize these minerals, these strategic minerals. Protect, keep away primarily China. Their talk is about China, 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 China. But China is not an enemy of Africa. We have never been colonized by China. There's no single African country that was a colony of China. Even today, China has never colonized and is not intending to colonize an African country.
I think this is no new story about the West in Africa and the way they see China's involvement in Africa. And like the speaker in the video that you just watched said, whenever you see a foreign or Western diplomat in Africa, or when an American politician makes a visit to Africa, all they talk about is China, China, China. China is bad for Africa. China is indebting Africa. China is debt-trapping Africa. And that is all they preach. Now, China has a lot of debt in Africa. China has a lot of things they do in Africa. But you should ask yourself one question. Why are the Africans feeling or moving towards the Chinese? Why are Africans thinking that maybe, just maybe, China might be the solution to Africa's problems? Why are Africans moving away from Europe and America into the arms of China? You must ask yourself all these questions because as far as memory serves us, Europe has always been in Africa. America also has been in Africa. And they have been saying that they are a friend of Africa. But if you look keenly, you can hardly see anything they have done that has been of the benefit of Africans. Europe, aka France, Britain, Portugal, Netherlands, have exploited Africa for many, many years, since the days of colonization and even the days of slavery. They have taken so many things from Africa and given just little to nothing in return. So you can see the reason why many Africans are like, you guys have had enough. We've dealt with you guys and we've realized that you guys really do not have our interests at heart. So maybe we should look for other options, or maybe we should exploit other options. They are now moving towards China. And please do not get me wrong. China is not that shining armor. I think I have made this same statement on this show like many times before, that people shouldn't get it twisted, or people shouldn't get it confused. China is not a friend. China is not your friend. China is not someone who is coming to give Africa things for free. China is not a philanthropist. China is not an NGO. China is a business partner, someone who is willing to do business with Africa. So China is not your friend. China is not my friend. China is a business person. So China should be treated as a business person. China should not be looked upon as a friend. No, we shouldn't make that mistake. And I have always said this on this show, that when dealing with China, we must do our homework, because China is very smart. The Chinese are very smart. The Chinese, before they come to do a deal with us, they have done their homework. They have identified what they want from us, and they have also looked into our weaknesses, and they will use these weaknesses to their advantage, which we cannot blame them, because as a business person, all you care about is profit. So I wouldn't blame China for a second if, due to our own ignorance, due to our own weakness, or due to our own laziness, we did not do our homework, and by so letting China play over us. I wouldn't blame China. I would blame us for being too lazy to do our own homework. So China in Africa isn't a bad thing in itself. China has done a lot of things to help Africans move ahead. China has built a lot of infrastructures in Africa. But we should be careful. We should not forget the fact that China is also a superpower who is clamoring for influence in Africa. And if we are not being careful, we might wake up one day to realize that we have been recolonized by China. And I hear many people say China doesn't have any political will to colonize Africa, or China doesn't have any ambition like militarizing Africa. And I am like, are you dreaming? Are you really for real? If there's one thing that any superpower wants, is to be able to dictate to other countries, is to be able to have influence over other countries. And the fact that China has not made known their ambition or their motive towards Africa doesn't mean that they do not have one. They might just be doing everything in the shadows. So we Africans must take note of this. Be very, very vigilant with China. Deal with China. Trade with them. Discuss partnership with them. But before you go on the negotiating table, do your homework. Know exactly what you want, and know exactly what you are willing to give China to get what you want. And do not give them more than what you are getting from them. And most importantly, do not let them strong arm you. Be very watchful. So to you guys out there, What is your view and opinion on China in Africa? What are some of the projects that the Chinese have done in your community, and how are those projects serving the people in your community? Let us know in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, please do not forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because little deed of goodwill, like the one you are doing just now, help us a lot, and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.